Animal Hospital is a cute game at first glance, where you play as a surgeon working inside what seems to be a normal hospital, treating patients who are supposed to be ordinary people. But very quickly, you realize that nothing there is normal. Hidden among the patients are anomalies, entities that disguise themselves as humans with the goal of deceiving, infiltrating, and ultimately eliminating anyone who fails to identify them in time. Your task is not only to treat patients, but also to carefully observe every detail, figure out who is human and who is an anomaly, and survive increasingly dangerous shifts where one mistake can cost everything. What makes the gameplay especially interesting is how identification actually works in practice. You are constantly forced to analyze behavior, facial structure, micro-expressions, voice patterns, and even subtle movement differences. Small details that seem insignificant at first can become the key to survival later. This creates constant pressure, where every interaction feels like a potential threat. Similar to other psychological horror deduction games, Animal Hospital has strong similarities to games like That's Not My Neighbor, especially in the way you inspect individuals and detect imposters trying to blend in. However, the key difference is the setting and responsibility. Instead of guarding a border or controlling access to a building, you are inside a functioning hospital, where you are responsible for both diagnosis and survival at the same time. You are not just protecting yourself, but also real patients who may be in critical condition and need urgent medical attention. This dual responsibility makes the experience much more stressful and immersive. Like in most horror games, there is also a deeper mystery behind everything. Something strange is happening in the world outside the hospital. Although the game has not fully revealed its story yet, it strongly suggests a hidden narrative involving the origin of the anomalies, the true purpose of the hospital, and why these entities exist in the first place. Every update and new detail seems to add another piece to a larger unanswered puzzle. At the beginning of each shift, you start a normal hospital routine. You receive patients, register their information, check their condition, and begin treatments. Alongside this, there is also a sanity meter displayed on the screen. This system plays a major role in the gameplay. As your sanity decreases, your perception becomes unstable, causing hallucinations, visual distortions, audio glitches, and false readings. At very low levels, it becomes extremely difficult to trust what is real, and you can easily make fatal mistakes. This mechanic creates an important layer of tension, because it suggests that survival is not only about identifying anomalies correctly, but also about maintaining your own mental stability. The longer you survive, the more unreliable your senses become. It also raises the possibility that anomalies are not just physical threats, but psychological ones as well, directly influencing your perception and decision-making. In this game, you are not only a receptionist or observer. You are also a surgeon, meaning you must both treat patients and evaluate whether they are real humans or disguised anomalies. This dual role creates constant pressure, since you often need to make fast decisions without complete information. Every second matters, and hesitation can lead to catastrophic outcomes. As the shifts progress, the difficulty increases significantly. Patients become more complex, some arriving in critical condition that requires immediate attention, while anomalies become more intelligent, adaptive, and deceptive. They learn from previous encounters, changing their behavior patterns and finding new ways to trick the player. What worked early in the game quickly becomes unreliable later on, forcing constant adaptation. The anomalies appear in multiple categories and variations, each with distinct and disturbing traits. Some have severely deformed faces, disorganized or misaligned eyes, and mouths filled with sharp, unnatural teeth, often accompanied by heavily distorted voices that sound almost inhuman. Others present 3 glowing red eyes and a deep, aggressive voice that feels unnatural and threatening. There is also a variation with a hollow, empty-looking face. This type is especially dangerous because it is not always hostile at first glance, but when treated or interacted with incorrectly, it can trigger a deadly ritual-like event that results in instant failure. Other variants include facial deformities affecting both eyes and mouth, sometimes enlarged, sometimes reduced, but always unnatural. These versions usually share distorted voices and unpredictable reactions. Some anomalies display involuntary body spasms, especially in the head and upper body, with unnatural, jerking movements that feel disturbing to observe. Others simply stand still and stare directly at the player while walking or approaching, creating psychological discomfort through silence and presence alone. There are also posture-based anomalies, with bodies bent or curved in impossible ways, something no normal patient would ever present. These cases are often easier to suspect, but still dangerous if misjudged. In addition, there are anomalies connected to patient records and photographs. In some cases, the face or body structure appears incorrect or mismatched in official images, creating inconsistencies between documentation and reality. In other cases, photographs show a version of the patient that does not match what is seen in person, creating confusion about what is real and what is not. Some images also contain static interference, making them unreliable for identification. The most dangerous of these are cursed photographs, which directly affect sanity. Simply looking at them can reduce your mental stability, making them a serious risk during analysis. There are also camera-based anomalies detected through surveillance systems. These include beings with completely black eyes, disproportionate body structures, and entities that stare directly into security cameras as if they are aware of being watched. Some are described as empty or void-like, creating an unnatural and unsettling presence. Other variations include muscular distortions, skinwalker-like entities, and beings with unusual anatomical differences such as abnormal or subtle structural changes that are hard to detect without careful observation. All of these variations reinforce one central idea. Nothing inside the hospital can be fully trusted. Even systems designed to help you, such as photos, cameras, and records, can become unreliable or corrupted. As for the story, there is a strong theory that the world is being affected by something supernatural, biological, or psychological. It could be a spreading virus, a spiritual phenomenon, or entities capable of mimicking human form in order to infiltrate society. Certain in-game events reinforce this idea. Ambulance events show signs of citywide outbreaks where emergency vehicles arrive carrying patients in critical condition. If they are not treated quickly, they die on the spot. There are also reports of burned or severely damaged patients, suggesting violent encounters with anomalies outside the hospital. This implies that the situation is not limited to the hospital itself, but is part of a much larger global or citywide crisis. The anomalies themselves could be doppelgangers, perfect imposters that replace humans, or infected individuals who have been corrupted by an unknown force. One popular theory suggests that everything may have started with rituals performed in the city, which may have accidentally or intentionally summoned these entities. However, the identity of whoever caused this remains unknown. As the game continues to develop, it will likely reveal more about the main characters, the hospital's hidden purpose, and the true origin of the anomalies. Each update seems to expand the lore further, adding more questions than answers. In the end, Animal Hospital is not just a survival game. It combines psychological horror, investigation, and mystery into one experience. Every shift becomes more intense, every patient can be a potential threat, and every decision can determine whether you survive or fall victim to the anomalies hiding in plain sight. If you enjoyed this breakdown, leave a like and subscribe for more analyses, theories, and explanations about games like this.